Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Fula Kamara. Today I'm gonna go over how to take the QuickBooks Online examination. Once you log into your ProAdvisor account, you can click on ProAdvisor under the Training tab. Once you click Training, you will see the Training Hub, Personalized Path, and the Certification Hub. Then you also have the Training Library. So the Personalized Path, this is just courses that you need to take in order for you to get prepared for taking the QuickBooks Online examination. You can set up the personalized path. Then the Certification Hub, this is where you take the exam. If you've also passed an examination, this is where you download the certificate. Then you can see right now I have already taken the QuickBooks Online, so that's why you see I have the option to download certificate. But if you haven't taken the exams, you don't have this option. There you can see I also have now the option to take either the QuickBooks Online Advanced or the payroll. So to take the exam, you can just click take exams. So you can see also the QuickBooks Online, once you pass the exam, you have like benefits. Then as long as you pass the exam, you will be entitled to like 100 points. The way to earn additional point is if you set up QuickBooks Online Ledger subscription, you will get a 25 points. If you have like an active contract or payment and 1099 filing client subscription, you will have 25 points. Then you also have 25 points for bill pay client subscription. But if you get like a payroll subscription like core or premium, you will get like 50 points. So the 25 points is for the basics. For premium, you get like the 50. Previously, as soon as you pass the QuickBooks Online exams, you'll be able to get listed on the QuickBooks Online ProAdvisor directory. So now in order for you to get listed on the QuickBooks Online ProAdvisor directory, you will have to earn 500 and above points before you can get listed. Now you all know how to earn points. So now let's go back to the exams. So basically the QuickBooks Online exams is divided into 5 sections. So this is the Training ProAdvisor account that I've just opened. So you can go to take the exam. So once you click take the exam, you can see you have section 1, which has 15 questions, and section 2 has 17 questions. Then you have section 3, which is 13 questions. Then you have section 4, which has 15 questions, and section 5, 13 questions as well. Once you click start a section, you'll be able to complete that section, which is 15 questions. So once you finish the 15 questions, you can submit those and go back to the next section. So once you finish all the section, then you can submit the entire exams. So if you submit the entire exams, that's the time you see the result. So if you just submit one section, you won't be able to see the results because you still have 4 more sections to go. You have 3 attempts. If you still don't pass after the 3 attempts, so you will have to wait until after like 60 days before you can retake the exams. So you can see you have a minimum of, the total questions here is 73 questions to answer. Once you finish all those questions, you will get your result. So in order for you to pass, you have to score 80% and above in each of those sections. Let's say if you get 80% on section 1, 80% on section 2, then maybe section 3, if you get like 75%, you will have to retake the section that you did not pass. Once you pass those sections, then you will get the certification. So at that time, you will be able to download the certificate by going to the certification hub. So now some of the tips that has helped me to pass the exam on the first try. One, you should make sure you practice a lot, because this exam is not like an exam that you just want to like take multiple times. So if you prepare well, you'll be able to pass it on your first try. So the first tip that I recommend is for you to practice. Let's say, for example, if you've watched those videos on my tutorial, try to do a lot of practice. like knowing your various navigation, like you going to the various section. You have some questions are knowledge based, then you have some questions you need to get familiar with the QuickBooks Online navigation. You should use like two different browsers. That is, let's say if you are taking the test on Safari, you should try to get Google Chrome where you can open the sample, which is the test drive. So this sample, you won't be able to open it while you are taking the exams. Okay, so make sure you have two different browsers. If you open a private window, like for example, if you have Safari, you right click, you will be able to open a private or incognito window on Google. You will be able to open the sample company, but I don't recommend that because sometimes you might get glitch. So the best thing is to open the sample company on a different browser so that you will be able to go through the test. So let's say if you are asked a question that you don't know on the top of your head, but if you know, you understand the navigation, you know where to find it, then you can open the sample company and look exactly where to see some of those answers. So you'll be able to know how to answer that question. So the goal is you shouldn't ask people about the questions because that's considered unethical. If you are asked a question on the exam, you shouldn't disclose those questions to third party, like posting those questions, asking other people to help you solve those questions. You shouldn't do that. But you have the resources like the sample company to go through the sample company to know exactly where to get the answer to the question asked. Then the good news is you are not timed. They don't time you on the exams. That's the good news. So you can spend as much time as possible looking for answers. But try to make sure you are the one answering those questions because it's not ethical for you to seek help from third party. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, you will be able to, if you practice well enough, like going through the tutorials from chapter 1 to 48, you will be able to answer most of those questions without even Googling or asking any forum. Like you will be able to do that by just practicing, doing a lot of practice. Try to practice because you have the sample questions here. So if you look here on the certification prep, this is where you can see the sample questions. These sample questions, this is where you test yourself. Okay, you can test yourself by answering these sample questions. If you got those answers correctly, then you know you are well prepared to take the exams. But let's say you score below the 80% on each of the attempts you make, meaning you are not well prepared. So you should try to take these sample questions until you can feel comfortable in answering those questions. And also do not rely on Google answers. Like let's say you find a question that is challenging, you wanted to ask Google, say, hey, like looking for previous response to some of those questions, you might get those wrong because I have seen some responses. Like for example, I was looking for how to delete a client from QuickBooks Online. So after I've added the client, I wanted to delete it because it was supposed to be a vendor instead of a client. So when I Googled the answer, because I couldn't delete the client, I was finding it difficult to delete. I did see some responses that are suggesting some procedure that would help you delete, which is not correct because you cannot delete a client on QuickBooks Online. So once you've added a client, you can either make them inactive, but you won't be able to delete them. You see, so that's the thing. So if I had not known the correct response at the end of the day, if I was taking an exam, I would have added the wrong response if I had relied on some Google response. Don't get me wrong, you might get good answers from Google, by searching Google queries, but when it comes to taking tests, I would suggest not to rely on some of those responses, because you might end up failing the exams if you don't be careful. So the best bet is go through the tutorials, like from chapter 1 to 48, then make notes like outlines. Okay, let's say try to create some notes on where do I get XYZ. Let's say, for example, if I'm looking to add an invoice, I know where to go exactly. So you click plus new, and then you go to the customer section, click invoice. So if I have a question relating to invoice, like for example, customization, if they talk about how to customize an invoice, so I know exactly where to customize. So I can just click customize, then you will look for like new style, try to make all the customization. So if your question asks about customization, you will know exactly where to go. Okay, so that's just an example of how to answer some of these questions. So once you know the navigation by using the sample company, you will be able to answer most of the questions. And if you practice a lot, like practice answering those questions, using the practice questions, the exam prep questions to practice, then also going through the videos. If you have a section that you don't understand, go through the videos and then practice on your own how to navigate. I'm sure you will be able to pass on your first try. So like I said, make sure you take notes while watching those videos. If you haven't taken notes when you were watching the video, go back, take notes. Then after you've added like outlines, let's say invoicing, where to get it, just make some notes that you might be able to revise and understand exactly if a question coming that you don't know the answer off the top of your head. So you have that outline that will point you where to go and look. So as long as you are the one doing the work, you are the one who is looking, you know where to find things. Because at the end of the day, the preparation or the certification is to help you learn something that you will be able to apply on the job. That is, after you've become a pro advisor. Let's say if a client asks you questions or need help on something, you should be able to figure that out and help the client answer those questions. But if you rely on somebody else to answer your questions for you, so you won't be able to do that if you've got certified and you have something technical that the client may ask you, and then you are not able to answer that. So those are some of the ethics. You shouldn't share the questions to anybody else. You should make sure your responses are from you. So it doesn't matter if you can use the sample company to figure out what the best answer might be, but even though you might have some questions that you cannot find in the sample company, because remember, you are the pro advisor. So as a pro advisor, you have your pro advisor account. Some of the questions that are coming from the pro advisor, you have like managing clients, managing your team, managing the tasks. So those are stuff you cannot find in the sample company unless you open the pro advisor account. Those are the areas you will see those. So just make sure you understand all those bits and pieces. Then I'm sure you should be good in getting this certification. Based on some forums, you will see some people have been working as bookkeepers for years, maybe 5 years. Some have worked for over like 1 year in order for them to be able to take the exam. So if you can take it within a month, which I'm very sure you should, because I only prepare for the examination like within a month, and then I took the test. So I believe if I can do it, you should also do it. So it all depends on your timing, how you manage your time. I'm sure you should be able to take it within like a month of preparation. So if you go through all the videos, because I try to cover everything possible. I know there are few things that I might not cover because everybody's exam might be different. The questions that you get might not be the same as the other person. So it all depends on how you prepare. All you need to know is where to find things and some of the notes that I told you to take that will help you answer some of these questions that are knowledge based that you don't have to go through. Like, for example, if they ask you how many users that you have in the QuickBooks Online Plus, how many users, you can get up to 5 users. That includes the admin. You should be able to get those answers, but if you are not sure, you should know where to find those answers, right? So you see, so that's how to prepare for the exams. I hope this helps. Please let me know if you have any other questions. Let me know in the comment section. Other than that, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next video. Thank you.